What is going on, everybody? I'm sure everybody's tuning in right now. We're a little late to the show. I just got back from Iowa. Super excited, super happy to be here. Excited to talk about Yankees Red Sox live broadcast. If you haven't been here already, we are broadcasting the game live right now. It is the bottom of the sixth. Oswaldo Cabrera is up. I'm super excited about it. We're going to be talking about it all day. First strike, not looking too shabby. Looking like something right now. We're really looking at what the Yankees have the potential to do today in Boston, breaking Roger Maris's 61 home run record. That being Judge, who has the potential to actually tie it. It's super exciting. It's an 0-2 count right now. Oswaldo is taking the pitch. It's now 1-2, 97 mile per hour fastball. I believe Ryan's pitching right now, but it's definitely something right now. The game is exciting. I'm really excited to really just finish this one up. It's something, we didn't really expect to see. It's something we didn't really expect to be in this position this early on. A lot of us have talked about it. It's still a 1-2 count now, but it's something we're really looking forward to. I think this is going to be dope. This is going to be exciting. Hopefully we can get Frankie the Yankee in here at some point during the day. I'm really excited to see what he's capable of doing. It's really gonna be a lot of fun seeing how these Yankees finish out the year. But right now it's still 1-2 count. Oswaldo's up to bat. If you're just tuning in, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. Believe that strike three. Oswaldo's out with the K. Ryan with his first strikeout after coming in the sixth. Super good stuff so far. I mean, it's not, it's nothing crazy, but he's definitely a solid reliever in this game. I believe he has a 5.97 ERA on the year. That's probably a 5.96 now after that K. But he's definitely somebody you can rely on from time to time. Harrison Barter is up now, and it's not the greatest year for him, batting 265 home runs, 27 RBIs. It's definitely something you need to look forward to really see how he's going to be able to produce in the postseason. It's been a crazy year for him so far. It's been a crazy year for the majority of this team, but it's going to be a lot of fun. First pitch is a ball, but it's called a strike, so 95 mile per hour fastball. So that's something. It definitely was a ball. We're not going to lie. We're not going to sit here, but that's neither here nor there. But Harrison's up to bat again. Like I said, 6 pitches in the bottom of the sixth. Super serious game today. It is currently 5-4 Yankees lead, pardon me. But it's going to be a lot of fun to really see how this one finishes out. And going into Toronto, I think it's going to be a huge series for the Yankees. It's really getting an understanding of really just winning the division. Frankie's told me that. A bunch of guys in the Yankees, fan base and organization have had those same conversations. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to see how everything just pans out. Obviously, this is my first time doing a broadcast, so bear with me if it's not solid. It's now a 1-2 count for Harrison. It's probably should have took that one, but I'm not one to judge, so we're going to see what happens with that. But it's going to be fun nonetheless. It's going to be a great day. Hopefully we get to see Aaron Judge hit number 61. If Aaron Judge hits number 61, I'm ending the episode. Like that's what it is. But if he doesn't, we'll just keep on going throughout the broadcast, and we're probably going to try to broadcast every single one to try to get that live. But we have now a 96 mile an hour ball, or 88 mile an hour ball, pardon me. Pitch number 9 of the at bat. It's Harrison's fighting for sure, batting 260 on the year. It's not a phenomenal year, but 260 is pretty solid, relatively speaking. To me, it's more so like where he is in the lineup is why I feel like he can't produce as well. Ryan definitely has some stuff on him, especially being a right-handed pitcher. It's definitely not his comfort zone. It's something though that he's gonna have to work with. That's strike 3, double Ks. That's crazy. Ryan right now Brazier is doing something right now that he hasn't been able to do all season, and that's actually strike guys out. So back-to-back strikeouts. It's crazy to me to see this happening to the New York Yankees at this point of the year. We do need Frankie in here. Where's my phone? But yeah, man, it was a crazy weekend. We went to the Field of Dreams. It was super exciting. It was honestly probably some of the most exciting times I've had. Isaiah Kinder Falefa is up now, batting 266 with 3 home runs. That's ball 1 with a fastball of 96 miles an hour. 11 pitches in the series so far. It's exactly what you want it to be. It's exactly how we expect this to go. It's something that I think, right now, looking at the team and looking at them moving forward, Brazier is definitely going to have to be more reliable and more consistent throughout the year. So this is a great inning for him. This is something that I feel like is really going to help him down the line. He's not the most consistent guy, and that's one of the issues. He's definitely going to get beat at times, but Ryan's a pretty solid pitcher, I would say. He's definitely definitely would play for the Cubs right now. But it's really exciting, man, to really see Boston kind of put something together towards the end of the year. Obviously Trevor Story is going to miss the remainder of the year with an injury, and there was a lot of things that didn't go well for them so far this season. I've talked to my guy Pride about it. I've talked to a couple other Boston individuals about it, big time Boston fans, and it wasn't the season that everybody expected, but it's definitely a season that you're not going to sit here and say it was a total loss. Like, they definitely did build on a lot of things. A lot of it was the health. We have a ground out to second with the out. That is the third out of the inning. We are going into the top of the seventh. Boston's up, but it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Abraham Almonte is up next. He's 0 for 2. Then Tommy Pham, who's 0 for 3 or 0 for 2 as well. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be dope. This is going to be a great experience. Really quickly, I will be right back. We are going to have a quick commercial break, and then we will be right back immediately. We are back. I knew it was going to be too long, but it's super exciting, man. We're back here, top of the seventh. It's going to be a great game. Got Roger Maris, his family's here, and I do want to thank everybody. Thank you for not killing me during the summer. I believe it was around June when I said Aaron Judge was going to tie Roger Maris or potentially even break it, and everybody was busting my balls from New York, and especially Red Sox fans. I'm not going to say no names. Maybe some individuals on the ASAP network, but it's okay. We're back now. Top of the seventh. Abraham Almonte is up. He has a 0 home run on the year, 1 RBI. We have a lot of guys on the Red Sox roster today, especially in the lineup that you haven't really seen a lot throughout the year. First pitch is a strike, or is a Okay, it was a strike. But with that being said, we're really trying to get an idea of what Boston is going to be and what they're going to be able to be going into next year. Seeing some guys who are going to get a chance this year, but really don't know what their expectations are going to be moving forward in their career. We got a line out potentially. It was a great throw by Gleyber Torres, but it was short, so he's safe. Abraham is on base with a hit towards shortstop. Pardon me, but it's been a crazy day all around. It's been a great day so far, and I think it's super exciting to really see how these guys are going to pan out. I think Boston's got something decent. I mean, they've got something solid that I think, moving forward, you really don't know what to expect from them. I think, obviously the Chris Sale stuff, obviously the Trevor Story stuff didn't pan out the way they wanted it to, but it's definitely going to be something down the line that we have to look at and understand that this team has something potentially special in the making. And I think, keeping Bogarts and keeping all those guys going into free agency is going to be big for them. We had a throwback to first. Rizzo looking amazing as always. He's the only reason I bought this Yankees hat is because of Anthony Rizzo. Obviously, my love for Ant is always going to be strong. Got mad love for the guy. We got guys warming up in the bullpen right now. 10 pitches so far. It's going to be a solid year, though. I truly do believe that. Going into October, I think New York is in one of the best positions right now, especially with getting a lot of guys back. Next strike is an 81-mile-per-hour curveball. It's first strike. 0-1 is the count. We got a man on first. It's going to be who's up to bat? Give me a sec. I'm still learning a lot of these guys on Boston. I haven't really heard their names before. That's no disrespect. That's no disrespect, but it's one of those things where it's September. You got a lot of September call-ups, got a lot of injuries. So, we're really trying to see what's going on right now and how things are panning out. We got another throwback to first, really not trying to get that second base stolen. I guess Almonte isn't one of those guys that I'm really too worried about. I don't really think, we have to be doing this. I think it's kind of one of those conversations to where you're just trying to figure out your next pitch, figure out what you're trying to do. But the Yankees are in a great position right now. They're in a great position to win this game. We had a couple dingers in the game so far. Oswaldo and Gleyber Torres really kicked it off for them. So that was super exciting. It was something. We have a bunt right now. Did not go. Foul ball, 96 mile per hour. Count is 0-2, 12 pitches, man on first. Still looking at Aaron Judge. Don't know why the camera crew's been shown. I mean, we do know why, but Aaron Judge has been the focal point of every camera angle the entire game. Gleyber Torres can get a home run, and we're still going to see Aaron Judge on the screen because that's how big today is. But it's going to be fun. I keep saying that. I keep saying that like I'm a kid, but one of these type of games, it's such a feel-good energy, and we have the pitch coming up right now, and we're going to get that to you. This was an 80-mile-per-hour strikeout. Great for him. Tommy Pham, I mean, it just hasn't been Tommy Pham's year. It hasn't been Tommy Pham's year in quite some time. And I think that's probably, that's obviously something that hasn't been too telling. We're very positive that Tommy Pham really isn't that guy anymore. San Diego understood that. Cincinnati understood that. Everybody's understood that. We're all at a consensus right now. We do have a pitching change coming up very quickly. I'm not sure who's coming in. We're going to see right now. But it's definitely going to be something, moving forward. When you look at what the Red Sox are putting together, I think they really do need to just trust their draft capital, trust their process in the farm system and what they're doing. I wish Pride was here. We can get Pride in here to really talk about it. But it's definitely something, moving forward, you need to look at this team and you need to understand, they're putting the right pieces together. You bring in a Trevor Story, you bring in a Bogarts, you bring in all these other guys in the team that you could potentially even say could be franchise-altering guys. Chris Sale has won a World Series with them. If Chris Sale could just stay healthy, we're having a different conversation. Toronto's coming up. You have New York, who's cemented themselves as the favorites that win the division. And I think, obviously, favorites to potentially even be in a World Series conversation. Now, maybe not the favorites, but out of that division, they're definitely the favorites. You look at, Tampa Bay is even kind of making some strides to try to be great. Wander Franco and all these other guys, that they're trying to lock up for long term and really just build something special. I think that's really where the consensus is right now with Boston is I'm trying to figure out, what we're really doing. And the reason we're having this conversation right now, by the way, for anybody watching, we are in a commercial break. So bear with me while we keep doing that. Again, if you're just tuning in, it is the top of the seventh. Boston is batting. It is 5-4 Yankees. Aaron Judge is still on the screen, still the face of everything. It's all anybody can talk about, potentially tying Roger Maris's record tonight. Also, I want to give a shout out to Albert Pujols, who really did his thing, hit not only number 699, but number 700 of his career yesterday. I'm hearing a lot of things saying that the fan isn't willing to give the ball back. He's potentially going to sell it. So that's super exciting. I'm not going to sit here and blame him. I'm not going to shit on a fan for, pardon my language. I'm not gonna judge a fan for wanting to get his bang for his buck. Now I do know that Aaron Judge's 60th home run of the season was given back by the fans who caught it. It was these college kids, and they gave it back for free. They just wanted a picture with him. They just wanted to meet him. That's a dope experience. But again, like if they would have kept that ball, not only getting it from Judge, but from a buyer, a seller, so a collector, someone like that. That's a lot of dough. That is a lot of dough. We are back. We have the game back live. Heading to the mound, going to be super exciting to see what goes on with this because he hasn't had the greatest season all year, but it's definitely better than years for us. We got Lucas on the mound, number 63, 2.82 ERA. Opponent's average is 2.63 or 0.263. Pardon me. 54.1 innings, hits 56. So about a hit and a half each inning, which is honestly it's amazing baseball. That's amazing baseball. 2.88 or 2.82 ERA. Is hard to come by, especially with a reliever nowadays. First pitch is a ball, wide right. So we'll see what happens with that. Next, we got Rafael Devers up, 288 batting average on the year, 27 home runs, 84 RBIs, and a 350 OBP. But a solid year nonetheless for for Rafael. And I think, that's one of those conversations you need to look at moving forward is who do you want to build the team around? Next pitch is a strike, 89 mile per hour fastball, super solid pitch. I mean, honestly, he could have got a little bit under it, but it is what it is. But the count is 1-1 right now. But like I was saying, with Rafael Devers, it's something you really need to look at and kind of digest in the offseason how you want to move forward. I think, with Bogaerts, with Devers, you obviously have a bunch of other solid pieces on this team. You need to figure out who's your face of the franchise. And I think that's really going to be something moving forward. You find out with the contracts, especially with Bogaerts. Next pitch is, again, wide right, 89 mile per hour slider, I believe. Count is 2-1, but it's something, with Devers, I definitely could see him being the face of the franchise. I just don't know where Boston's front office would stand on that. Because obviously you brought in Trevor Story for a reason. You want somebody who can really just be that veteran. And Rafael's a pretty young guy. But again, a guy like Juan Soto can lead you to a World Series. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways we can look at it. There's a lot of different conversations we can have. But I guess we're not going to know until we know. I think, the consensus, even in New York right now, count is still 2-1, by the way. 3 pitches so far for Lucas. We're trying to figure out what's going on right now. Kind of just getting a minute to gather himself, I guess you could say. Next pitch, again, another slider, wide right, 89 mile per hour. Count is 3-1, 4 pitches, man on first, 1 out, 5-4 Yankees. Top of the 7th. But it's something, when I look at what Boston's putting together, and I keep saying this, but I like what Boston's putting together. I just think they're really waiting for their farm system to come up. They're really waiting to see what happens in free agency with a bunch of other teams. You're really trying to pick everybody's brain on what you could potentially do in a trade and how to get back on top. Next pitch is a strike, 89 mile per hour. Count is 3-2. He painted the corner, to be honest. That was a solid pitch right on the left side of the box. It's something right now, though, when I look at Lucas and I look at how elite he is, I always feel like once he gets gathered, let's say 5-6 pitches into it, I feel like that's when you start to see his best stuff. But, starting in, we're obviously seeing a lot of walks right now, a lot of strikes. That's strike 3. Rafael Devers goes out swinging, but it's something, when you look at Lucas and you look at how important he's going to be moving forward, going into what potentially could be one of the biggest postseasons in Yankees history in the 21st century, or at least in the 20s. But it's something, looking at this team and what they're capable of doing. You have Garrett Cole, you have Luis Severino, who's looking like a stud. Stanton's back, he's healthy. Gleyber Torres is hot. Aaron Judge is still doing his thing, and he's been relatively healthy, knock on wood. But it's definitely something, you got to look at this team for what it is, and then they have the potential to be great. We got Bogaerts up next. I believe that's strike 1. Let's see. Yeah, strike 1. That was a ball. That was a ball, but he did pull it up a little bit, so we're gonna give him that one. But the officiating of this game, the umpires in this game have not been great on either side. I just feel like it's one of those games, you're kind of just being equally fair to everybody, but it's equally shit to everybody, I guess you could say. Another one, 74 mile per hour curveball. That is ball 1. The count is 1-1, 2 outs, 8 pitches, man on first. 5-4 Yankees in the top of the 7th. If you're just tuning in, I appreciate everybody for coming in here. Really just checking us out. We got some comments. I'm in here. Check it out. Who's here? We got Jay Ness. Does Aaron hit one today? I think that's an interesting conversation. I think, and we've talked about it time and time again. Aaron is second in the bottom of the 7. So if you are tuning in, definitely get in here right before that, because we're trying to get it live. Because it's just so historic. We got, that's as a nasty curve, 73 mile per hour, strike 2 for Bogaerts. That was definitely his pitch. It was just a little low. But he was a little late on that one. But it's something with Aaron right now. If this happens in Toronto, it's still dope. It's still a dope experience. It's still awesome. It's still cool to see. But if this happens against Boston, that is just a magnitude that you can't. I have a water bottle up here. That you can't write this stuff, man. You can't write this stuff. Not only do you tie Roger Maris's record, Bogaerts hits that one, 87 mile per hour on the top shelf. Still count 1-2, but you can't write this stuff. You can't write it at all. Playing against Boston, doing what you did against Boston, on a contract year, you hit over 61 home runs in a year, tying the Yankees all-time record in a single season. And depending on how you look at it, that is the single season record in the MLB. If you don't count Bonds, McGuire, and obviously Sammy Sosa. But it's to each their own. I'm not going to sit here and judge you guys for how you feel about it. But next pitch, we got Okay, that was a wild pitch. Now we're gonna see what goes on. We got um, stolen base at second. 2-2 count. So I mean, that's my thing. I keep saying though with Lucas, it's definitely something that's really frustrating. It's definitely something that once he gets acclimated, once he gets ready to play, once he gets comfortable on the mound, that's when you start to see his best work. But early on, it's just one of those games for him. But again, 2.82 ERA, not tripping about it. He's definitely a solid pitcher. We're gonna see what happens next, but it's something right now, like I was saying, on a contract year, if they potentially could go deep into the playoffs, if they potentially could, win a World Series this year on a contract year, you hit over 61 home runs, you potentially win MVP and the Triple Crown. Aaron Judge is, and obviously, breaking number 61 against Boston. That's one of those conversations. Ground out the third. We're going to see what happens here. Error on the play from the third baseman. It's definitely not something we wanted right now. Josh Donaldson with the error. He slipped. It looks like he slipped, but we'll see what happens here on the replay. But it's definitely something, I think Aaron Judge could walk into the front office and obviously in the winter and just ask for a blank check. I truly do believe that. I believe he's one of those guys that, yeah, Donaldson with the error. Honestly, though, I don't even like Josh Donaldson like that. And I don't mean to be disrespectful here. I know there's a lot of Yankees fans that are probably going to tune into this later. But Josh Donaldson is not that guy. He used to be a former Cub. He was in the Cubs farm system. I loved him in Toronto, but after a couple comments he's made to fans and a couple comments that he's just made in general, not really rocking with Josh Donaldson. But he's one hell of a ball player. I ain't going to disrespect him. He's definitely a solid ball player, and we're going to see what happens with that. But we got man on third, man on first, 2 outs, 0-0 count with 12 pitches so far in this at bat. We got my guy up to bat. Super excited to always see him. I haven't seen his stat lines yet on the year. But it's definitely one of those years that you really need to look at moving forward, and really just understand, like I was talking about earlier, and we kind of got into it a little bit, but, you have to look at Alex Verdugo too, 282 batting average, 10 home runs, 70 RBIs, 331 OBP. I keep reading off the stats. Obviously, he's 1 for 2 with a double, a walk, and a run. But it's something, Alex is a stud too. You got him out of the Mookie Betts trade. So you really do need to figure out who the face of your franchise is if you are somebody like the Boston Red Sox. I think Verdugo, obviously you have Trevor Story, you have Rafael Devers, you have all these guys that you could really look at and be like, yo, these guys are the face of the franchise. You have a Shohei Ohtani who's going to be a free agent soon. Could he potentially come to Boston? I know he didn't want to go to New York because he didn't want to be in a big market on the East Coast. But it's been a few years, so we could definitely see if that's changed, if those conversations are still the same. But it's a 1-1 count right now for the next pitch. We have 14 pitches so far. That was high top shelf ball. It's a 2-1 count now, 86 mile per hour curveball. Definitely high top shelf. I would have jumped out of the box, but it's something. I just think Boston's so close. I do. And I think, a lot of people say that just because it's Boston, but I genuinely do look at the people they have coming up. I genuinely do look at the product that they're trying to put onto the field when healthy. And I think they're going about it the right way. I think they just need a couple more, big time hitters. And with that being said, Alex Verdugo with a big time hit, 87 mile per hour fastball, drives in a run. It is currently 5-5 Boston, or 5-5 all, I guess you could say. Alex Verdugo with a single. Super exciting to really see him get going this year. It's super good time. It's a great time to see him be able to do his thing and to be able to be healthy, really. Now, obviously, that probably wasn't a pitch that he should have swung at. It was a top shelf kind of hit. But that's exactly where he excels. He's one of those guys you can really believe in. He's one of those guys that you truly look at and you could say, man, like this kid potentially, let's say a couple years from now, could be one of the greats. And I'm not going to say he's going to be the best player in the league. But I definitely look at him the way I look at a couple guys in the Atlanta Braves organization, Austin Riley, someone like that, where you can have an MVP caliber year, but you're just not consistent about it. And I definitely think that's where I look at Alex and how he's going to continue to perform. But again, 5-5 all. We have 2 outs in the top of the 7th, 76 mile per hour strike right there with a great curveball from Lucas. He's really doing his thing. We have Hernandez up to bat. It's definitely one of those moments, though, where you really look at it for what it is. Kike Hernandez, 226 batting average, 6 home runs, 40 RBIs, 298 OBP, 0 for 2 today with a walk in the 6th. I mean, it's definitely not it's not the worst roster you could put together. Now, obviously, they have some guys that can hit for contact. They have some guys that can hit home runs, but I think you really just need that balance. You need that balance in the lineup. I think there's so many injuries that you have a lot of guys who are so top heavy, and you have them in the top of the lineup. Kike Hernandez throws his bat into the stands, which was okay. But 0-2 count, whatever. But that was weird. But it's definitely something, I think when everybody's healthy, when you have Trevor Story, when you have a bunch of other guys there, that's when you're going to be able to really see what Boston's made of. I think going into next year, you're really going to get a better understanding of what's going on and how they're going to move forward. And I think, health is wealth in baseball today and in any sport today. So I think that's one of the biggest things right now. 0-2 count, 2 outs, 18 pitches so far. And Kike Hernandez strikes out swinging. So with that being said, we're going into the bottom of the seventh. We have Aaron Judge batting second. I believe we have Kyle batting first. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Aaron Judge is 0 for 2. And then Anthony Rizzo, we have 0 for 2. But really quickly, we're going to take a quick break. It'll only be a minute, so definitely don't go anywhere. We have Aaron Judge coming up very soon. We're going to see if the Judge can smack number 61. So we will be right back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have an amazing, amazing show for you guys tonight. It is currently the bottom of the seventh. The Yankees have 6 hits. The Boston Red Sox have 7, but we are tied all 5-5. Super exciting. Bottom of the seventh. We have Kyle up first. We have Aaron Judge batting second and Anthony Rizzo going third. I'm going to go crazy for Anthony Rizzo. That's my guy. But it was a great weekend, all in all. I want to see what you guys are up to. I want to see what you guys have been doing on if you're in the comments right now. We got Frankie in here. Frankie. I hate Lucas. No, yeah, 100%. Yo, Frankie, please keep talking to me. Frankie, get in here if you aren't in here already. We're in John Schneiber, I believe is how you say his name, a 1.92 ERA. Of course, it's a 1.92 ERA. Opponent's average is a 0.182, which is pretty shitty, but not going to lie to you. But it's definitely something right now, when you look at what John's capable of and you look at what Aaron Judge is fiending for right now, he's definitely been in, I wouldn't call it a slump, but he's definitely been cooling off a little bit in recent games. And that's I mean, he's leading all categories for the Triple Crown right now, so I think he has the right to do so. But he's still heating up to his regard. He's still playing phenomenal baseball. He's doing his thing right now. We have Kyle up batting first. We're really going to be able to talk about Judge, though. That's all we can talk about right now. I'm going to be excited to see what goes on with this. I keep saying that all day long. I don't know why, if that's just my catchphrase of the day or what. But I'm really excited to really get this going and to really see how we're going to go moving forward. But Right now, 61 would be dope, but I see a sign already in the stands right now saying 62 would be better. Taking note from Albert Pujols last night, who, like I said, not only hit 699 but hit 700. It would be dope to see if he could hit both tonight. But I think, all in all, you just want to see him hit one of them against Boston, whatever happens in Toronto. And furthermore down the line, I think that is what it is. We still haven't gotten anybody up to bat yet. Obviously, Kyle is coming up. But they're taking their sweet ass time. Aaron Hicks is pinch hitting. All right, so that's why we're taking so long. 219 batting average, 8 home runs, 39 RBIs, and a .2 or 329 OBP. But I mean, Aaron Hicks has been solid all year. I think really one of the biggest things is just trying to get him healthy and really to get him to be able to be himself. Putting him in the best position possible in order to do so. First pitch is a crazy strike, 83 mile per hour. It looked like a slider, but I might be wrong on that one. But I haven't seen John before, so I'm not really sure on John and what he throws, but it looks like a slider. But it's definitely something, you look at moving forward and how this was really going to transpire. I think you just need everybody to be healthy. You just need everybody to be healthy and everybody to be able to do their thing. And I think that's one of the biggest things right now. It's an 0-1 count, 1 pitch so far in the inning. John with an 81 mile per hour knock. Let's see what happens here. Aaron Hicks. It is a right on the line foul ball, if I'm not mistaken. So Aaron Hicks is going to come right back. It was a great hit. It was a great knock. It was a little blooper out to left field, but we're going to see what goes on next. It's an 0-2 count, 2 pitches so far in the bottom of the 7th, 5-5 Yankees all. I guess I shouldn't say Yankees all. I should just say all. But right now, I'd give the edge to the Yankees. They scored 5 first, so let's see what happens here. But right now, when you look at Aaron Hicks and what he potentially means to not only this team, but to the locker room, I think that's where a lot of people get it twisted. I think that's where a lot of people don't really understand, what we're doing moving forward. And by we, I mean them. Is really just trying to put together a team that's ready to win in the postseason. I think that's really what you look forward to. I think obviously Judge, Stanton, and company have kind of made some noise. Gleyber Torres has now had a couple tastes of the postseason, but it's something that you really need to get gathered and get ready to go. That's exactly why you bring in Garrett Cole. It's exactly why you bring Adam in from Boston and all these other guys. It's definitely going to be a process. Next pitch, we have 95 mile per hour pitch, top shelf. Aaron Hicks knocks it off. But it's still not good enough. So it's still an 0-2 count, 3 pitches, 5-5 all. Aaron Judge is on deck. The Judge is on deck. We'll see what happens here. But it's definitely one of those conversations we're all going to have later on and really kind of digest the 2022 season as a whole. And I think the Yankees have really just been able to capitalize on their health. I think obviously they haven't been the healthiest. Stanton hasn't been the healthiest, and he hasn't looked great since he came back. That grand slam against Pittsburgh the other night was pretty great for his mentality, and I feel like really just moving forward. Another crazy heater beyond top shelf, far left, getting way too close for Hicks's comfort. We have another one. It's 1-2 count. Almost grazed his elbow. It might have grazed his elbow. Okay. Yeah, it almost hit him. It almost hit him. He moved out of the way. That definitely would have been a walk if he hadn't moved out of the way. But it's a 1-2 count, 4 pitches so far. We have Aaron Judge on deck. Like I said, John is still pitching, and we have an amazing guest for you guys coming on later on in the show. It is the bottom of the 7th. We're going to try to get them on very soon. But I'm really excited about it. It's another one. We got 2-2 count. That one was more of a ball, or not a ball, a curveball. Pardon me. But it's definitely one of those things where, John's a dog. John's a dog 110%. But today his command kind of looks a little shaky so far. We'll see what happens as the inning continues and the inning transpires. But I think he's going to be able to capitalize on this Yankees roster right now that honestly is so shaky. It's a 3-2 count right now. Another wild pitch, 95 miles per hour. I mean, this catcher is saving Aaron Hicks' life right now. I mean, this catcher is saving his life. I know Aaron's shaking a little bit, but it's something moving forward. I think one of the biggest things when you look at Boston and what they need to be capable of doing is just really getting it down the line and really understanding what they need to do moving forward. I think that's one of the biggest things, you really look at and transpire is who do we need to rely on moving forward. We have another one that is a walk, ladies and gentlemen, a 4-2 count. Man out first. Let's go Kyle, or let's go Aaron. But we have Aaron Judge up now. We're going to see what happens. We'll see what transpires. If he doesn't get a hit, we're ending the live. No, we're not. But it's something, right now in this moment, everybody's rising. All rise for the Judge. We're going to see what goes down. We're going to see what goes down. It's a 0-0 count. Man on first, 0 outs, 7 pitches so far, 5-5 all. Aaron Judge is up. Anthony Rizzo is on deck. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what transpires. But so far, AL leaders in batting average. Judge, .3142. And then you have Bogarts 0.3150. So it's so close. It's so tight. We have the next pitch coming up very soon, the windup and the pitch. Ball one, 80 miles per hour. But I think the consensus that I've been getting from this series as a whole is Boston. Boston is not giving this to Judge. No shot in the world. They're not giving this to Judge. I think that's one of the biggest problems right now for Aaron Judge is he's not seeing exactly what he wants. It's a 2-1 count or 2-0 count. Pardon me. 91 mile per hour fastball. We're gonna see what happens. 9 pitches so far. Again, man on first. 5-5 all. Bottom of the seventh. Judge is waiting for something. You got to give him something to hit. And I think that's one of the things. Though I think he's not. I don't think Boston's going to give him something to hit intentionally. Swing and a miss. 2-1 count now. 92 mile per hour heater. 10 pitches so far. But it's something that I think against Toronto or against anybody else, I don't think they really care. But against Boston specifically, I know that I might sound crazy. You might say I'm tweaking, but I definitely do think if I'm Boston, I'm not allowing Aaron Judge to get this one. 2-2 count. Aaron Judge again, another swing and a miss. 92 mile per hour heater. It's not looking great. He's missing his mark just a little bit. I think, not to say it's getting to his head. I don't think it's getting to his head, but I just think in this moment, in the magnitude of this and getting the pitches that he's getting, it's just not perfect. It's just not perfect yet. But again, all it takes is one pitch to change everything, and we're going to see what happens right here. 2-2 count and the pitch. Foul ball right there. Aaron lines it out over to the third base line, but it's definitely something, I think, Aaron, I think Aaron just wants to get this out of the way. I really do. I don't think it bothers him. I don't think mentally, it's mind blocking him. I just think it's one of those things that once it's over with, then you can just kind of focus on the rest of the season. You already have the Triple Crown stuff, the MVP stuff. You don't need this there and there as well. Obviously, there's out of those 3 things, there's only one that you can really control, and that's going to be the Roger Maris record-breaking tie. So, I think with that pitch, another foul ball to the third base dugout, it's something that I think Aaron's just waiting for. Aaron's just waiting for his moment. He's waiting to be able to get this over with and just continue to move forward. It's a huge honor. It's a huge accolade. It's something that I think, right now, when you really look at it for what it is, this only happens. I was talking to my guy Frankie about it. This only happens every now and then. We have another comment in here really quickly. Frankie, I can't pull that up. I can't pull that comment up. But we have another pitch coming up very quickly. 13 pitches so far. 2-2 count with the pitch. John throws it, and strikeout by Judge. Which, I mean, to each their own, but yeah, it's what, the second or third strikeout of the day for Judge. It's definitely not his day. Anthony Rizzo is up to bat. We're gonna see what happens here. He definitely went. Yeah, Aaron definitely went. I don't know why he's fighting with the umps right now. I get he's frustrated, but he 110% went on that one. But Anthony Rizzo's up to bat, and we're gonna take a short intermission and kind of talk about what's going on with the Yankees right now and really getting Aaron Judge back into groove. He seems very frustrated right now, very vocal, kind of talking about that last at bat. He seems pretty frustrated, but I mean, he's definitely frustrated. But it seemed pretty clean. He swung. Like, I don't know what else to say. If the ball is going past your hips, there's nothing I can really help you with there. So Anthony Rizzo, the man, the myth, the legend himself, is batting next. Super excited to really kick this one off. Super excited to just see him back. I mean, obviously, I'm a Cubs fan at heart, even though I got the Yankees hat on. Always been a Cubs fan at heart. I only rock it for certain occasions or for Anthony Rizzo. But, it's something, moving forward, I think it gives them the best potential chance to potentially go to the World Series, is having someone like an Anthony Rizzo. Is being able to do what you do and to be able to do it at the level of that. And Anthony Rizzo so far in the season has just been incredible. I think he's been everything they've wanted him to. Obviously, the batting average isn't there. 223, 31 home runs, 72 RBIs with a 337 OBP. But he's definitely been there defensively. He's definitely been healthy. And I think that's one of the biggest things right now is really just getting his health there. The RBIs are there for the first time in a minute just because the Cubs in recent years, Javi, KB, other guys just haven't really been healthy. Wilson Contreras. So that's a big part of it as well. See how my stuff gets better when I'm talking about the Cubs. It's definitely something right now. Buxton to undergo knee surgery Tuesday, out for the season for the Minnesota Twins. That is insane. Anthony Rizzo with a high drive. That is a huge bomb with a home run. 7-5 Yankees right now. Anthony Rizzo with a knock. Third home run of the game, number 32 of the year. 2-run home run. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, it does not get any better than that. So Anthony Rizzo with 108.4 mile per hour knock into the bleachers. So, that's exactly what you want right now. That's the kind of pitch that Aaron Judge is looking for, and he's just not getting. And I'm not going to say that everybody else is getting it easier, but everybody I feel like has this consensus right now that Boston is not letting up, and Anthony Rizzo is taking full advantage of that. He's taking advantage of batting behind Judge or batting after Judge and being able to do that. I think that's one of the cleanest things that you can really look at right now. Kind of like a Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris type deal. Once Mickey came back, you kind of had that understanding of, okay, Mickey is definitely going to get better pitches than Roger was just because of the time. We have Gleyber Torres up now. We're going to see what happens. He already had a home run earlier in this game. I believe it was a single home run. I don't believe he had any RBIs in that one, but it's definitely something moving forward. You're super excited to continue to see how these guys continue to dominate. Shane Baz to undergo Tommy John surgery will miss the 2023 season for the Tampa Bay Rays. That just got broken out. That's really unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. Right now, I believe it is a 0-1 count to Gleyber Torres after that 2-run blast for Anthony Rizzo, blasting it next to the Toyota sign. But it's definitely something they're looking forward to right now. I know it's Frankie. I know the comment is Frankie right now. Rizzo, baby. I already told you. I knew it was Frankie. I didn't even see it. But yeah, 7-5 Yankees, bottom of the seventh. Aaron Judge with another strikeout on the day. Super frustrated. So far, the 2022 home runs by location, 10 inside for Anthony Rizzo, the 21 outside. So he's really just kind of breaking out of his shell. He's usually a guy that hits closer to the inside. He waits for his pitches. He even loves to get hit. I remember how many times he's led the league in getting hit by pitchers. Gleyber Torres with a ground foul ball to third baseline. It's a 1-2 count for Gleyber. But right now, you look at Anthony and what he's been able to do. It's the same thing in Chicago. He's really just adjusting to what it's like playing in the American League, what it's like playing against some top-notch pitching because, as much as I hate to be biased, it's definitely something right now you need to look at for what it is. Anthony Rizzo is top 4 right now in home runs by a first baseman. Pete Alonso is first, and obviously Paul Goldschmidt and company are in front of him. But Anthony is sitting right at 4 with 32 on the year. So super exciting. We still got a 1-2 count for Gleyber Torres. He's really falling off everything he can right now, trying to stay alive. 1 out in the bottom of the seventh, 7-5 Yankees, 21 pitches so far for John. Gleyber Torres on the year, 24 home runs, 70 RBIs, 306 OBP, and a 251 batting average. I think that's one of the things, about Gleyber, and even going back to the days when he was with the Cubs, you definitely look at this kid as somebody. I look at him like Baez. I looked at him just like Baez, and I thought he's going to be one of those guys that can definitely hit 30 home runs a year. Wild pitch by John, 94 mile per hour to the backstop. But again, with Gleyber, I think he's one of those guys when you really look at what he is and what he does. I think he's going to be a 30-plus home run hitting guy. He's going to have over 70 RBIs, but the batting average is never really going to be insane until he starts making adjustments. I think, what are those adjustments? I have no idea. But it's definitely going to be something for him moving forward, what he's going to be. We had a 2-2 count, 22 pitches. Gleyber Torres with a ground out to third, and he's safe. He is a little blooper to third base. Gleyber Torres is safe, so we still got a man out first. 0-0 count with 23 pitches and 1 out, 7-5 Yankees. Again, they're going on a little bit of a rally, but Judge still couldn't knock it in if you're just tuning in. John's looking a little shysty today. So it's definitely not his best game. Came into this game with over a 1.90 ERA, if I'm not mistaken. I'm coming soon, says Frankie Cruz. Ooh, baby, I'm excited to hear that. Super excited to hear that. I really just want to see what he continues to do and how he's going to go about it. But we're really just looking forward right now, when you look at what these guys are able to do. And Frankie's even talked about it, Matt Carpenter coming back, all these guys coming back and really just getting your full roster together and still being a dominant team. They're still just as dominant as they were, earlier in the year. They really kind of had that little slump, that little grind where they really weren't playing the best baseball. Josh Donaldson is up right now, 0-0 count on the game with one man on base, on first base. But, right now it's the conversation, the story of the day is Aaron Judge. What's going on throughout this Boston series? It just hasn't been. He came so close. He was literally inches away from hitting number 61 last night. It had the entire press box just going crazy. We have a 1-0 count right now, 92 mile per hour slider from the looks of it. Josh Donaldson overreacting as he normally does. But I know you got mad love for him too, Frankie. But Josh Donaldson is a very emotional individual, and I'm not gonna sit here and judge him for that. But sometimes I just see things and I'm like, come on, that wasn't intentional. But Josh Donaldson is one of those guys, definitely. Okay, 81-mile-per-hour curveball right there. It's a 2-0 count, 25 pitches so far. John's just kind of losing his command. He's losing his command. He's not really pitching the way we want him to. Josh Donaldson on the year, 228 batting average, 15 home runs, 59 RBIs, and a 313 OBP. Definitely, not the year you're typically used to watching back in 2018 of Josh Donaldson, but he's definitely kind of resurrected his career after a couple rough years of injuries and just a lot of things derailing his time in the MLB. We had a 3-0 count right here. He's not trying to face Josh Donaldson whatsoever. But we're going to see what happens right here. Hopefully, Josh gets a little knock. We saw that earlier from Gleyber Torres, who just obliterated on a 3-0 count. Or it was Oswaldo. Pardon me if I mixed that up. 3-1 count. Josh took the pitch. It's perfectly fine. It's understandable. I know Tony La Russa would be happy about that wherever he is right now. But 27 pitches so far. 3-1 count. 7-5 Yankees right now. 1 out. Man on first. We're going to see what goes on. Maybe we're going to have a pitching change probably sometime soon. But it's definitely something, you look forward to this. You look forward to these moments. That's strike 2, 3-2 count, full count. Looking at it right now, Josh Donaldson took an 81-mile-per-hour curveball straight to the right side of the box in the bottom corner. But, I'm really excited. Aaron Judge, that was huge for him right now. He's smiling. He's having a blast in the dugout right now after an insanely frustrating strikeout. From the looks of it, we have ball 4, man on second, man on first. Josh Donaldson takes his base, 82-mile-per-hour curveball. Again, to the backstop. John is losing all command. We're going to see if we have a pitching change coming up very soon. But it's exciting, man. I'm excited to really see how this season transpires. We have Giancarlo Stanton up now with the bat, who had a invigorating home run the other night. The kid needed it. The guy needed it. He's batting .213 on the year, 28 home runs, 299 OBP, a single in the 4th, and 75 RBIs. But it just really, ever since his injury, he hasn't really been the same. But that grand slam against Pittsburgh the other night was huge for him and really what he's trying to do. So we're going to see how John pitches him right here. He definitely didn't want to face Josh Donaldson from the left side. So I'm really curious to see if we're going to be able, or from the right side, we're going to be able to see what happens here. But throwing back to second base, trying to get a little bit of Gleyber Torres right there, but they've got nothing. But we're going to see what happens. He's definitely avoiding pitching to Giancarlo Stanton right now. But, I think it's going to be solid nonetheless. I think it's going to be solid. It's going to be a great year. I'm really excited for October. I was at the Field of Dreams this weekend. It was a dope experience. It was honestly, you get to play on the field. Giancarlo Stanton takes strike 1, 0-1 count so far with 1 out. 7-5 Yankees again. Two men in scoring position, but 30 pitches so far. I think John really hasn't had the game that everybody's expected him to. Kind of surprised he's still in this game after that walk to Donaldson with Stanton up. But we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what the play is. Strike 2 for Stanton, not looking great. 93-mile-per-hour fastball on the top shelf of the left side. But it's definitely something I think Stanton just needs a little bit more motivation. He definitely just needs a little bit more from this, and what we need to see from him moving forward really is just him just being himself. And we're not saying, you have to be the Miami Marlins of old, strike 3 for Stanton. That's exactly, that was an easy walk right there. It was an easy walk right there, and he really just didn't stay patient. Postseason picture today just pulled up by MLB TV. We got a solid list. I mean, right now, if the Yankees were playing, they would play either the winner of Seattle or Cleveland, and I feel like that's a great matchup. And then they would play Houston or either the Tampa Bay Rays or the Toronto Blue Jays. So whoever comes out of those two matchups, we'll see what happens with that. But the Yankees having to go up against in the divisional round, either Cleveland or Seattle, I think that's one of the best makeups you could really do. I think out of that, I would rather see Cleveland. I think Seattle really does have a solid team. They really are kind of made for the postseason. I think that's yet to be seen. And the Blue Jays as well. I think the Blue Jays are great. We have 0-1 count right now. Oswaldo's doing his thing. He already had a home run tonight. He had a home run the other night. It's definitely one of those things, batting .233, 4 home runs on the year, 17 RBIs with a 302 OBP. He had a 2-run home run today. And the other night he had a huge home run as well. I believe it was a grand slam. The kid's really coming into his own. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a solid player. Smacking that ball into left field. We're going to see what happens for out number 3. That is the inning right there. But we will be right back after a short break to kind of see what happens going into the 8th inning.